Hi guys, and welcome to a book review for The Little Guesthouse of New Beginnings by Donna Ashcroft. This is a romance chick lit. I've got a couple of things highlighted for phrases that stick out to me. I won't read them all to you. This video is going to contain a couple of different bits. I'm going to tell you about what the book is about. And I don't know, we'll just play it by ear because I don't know if I'll give you the facts first or certain stats that I was able to find, and then what I thought, or switch those two. So this one is a romance chick lit. We're following Madison and Connor. So it's a dual POV. Madison is the main female lead and Connor is the main male romance lead interest. They knew each other growing up. They live on a small town. Madison is a wanderer. She comes back to Sunflower Haven. Is that what it is? Sunshine Hideaway. Sunshine Hideaway on Sunflower Island. So she comes back. It's a place that's owned by her aunt and uncle. And she has been to Australia, Thailand. She just travels. She doesn't stay in one place for very long. So people have learned not to expect her to stick around. Connor has been there on Sunshine Hideaway, Sunflower Island, his whole life. And you can tell that they are attracted to each other, but he doesn't want to get attached because she leaves all the time. But she is really wanting to find roots and place down roots. She's tired of being a wanderer, a nomad, whatever you want to call them. She wants a home. She wants to have someplace that she feels she belongs. And then you're watching as the romance, it's a romance that starts to bloom between the two. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get into some stats and then I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on the book. These videos are going to be fairly short. Okay. Definitely less than 20 minutes is my plan. So, I mean, that's really all I can tell you with what the book is about. Okay, so Madison, the Sunshine Hideaway is a little kind of hotel resort that her aunt and uncle own. It's fallen into some disrepair, so it needs a little TLC. They're losing their guests. There's this big lodge that cuts prices to try and get clients away from the resort that her aunt and uncle own, and so they are losing money because they do have to compete now. Instead of this little small mom and pop type lodge or resort, they have to compete with this big conglomerate so that can offer more services and things like that. So Madison shows up, her aunt and uncle aren't there, and you just watch as things develop between her and Connor and things like that. Okay, so stats. So written by Donna Ashcroft. This is a romance and chick lit. This was published in 2009. The publisher is Book Auteur. Okay. And I did listen to this on Scribd along with reading this. And the narrator was Tallulah Ray. One time speed is 7 hours and 52 minutes. I tend to listen to double time speed when I am reading along. I just absorb better. So Madison in this is 23 years old. Connor is 26. Sunflower Island is a small town, and I believe it is in Scotland, somewhere in Scotland. It's a small town romance. So that's what I can tell you there. The following words popped up a couple of times. Sexy came up 5 times. Damn or variations of damn, like damn it, things like that, came up 15 times. Hell, 13. The word God came up 9, and not in a religious sense, like OMG type of a thing. Bloody, which was used as a curse in this particular case, came up once. The word ass came up once. Bastard once. The phrase turned on once. Nipple 3 times, bullshit once, and naked like once or twice. Now, I may have missed some of those. That just what happens when you read, but that's the minimum amount of times that those words popped up. Now, There are 7, yes, there are 7 scenes in which Madison and Connor do kiss. I mean, it's a romance. You can tell where they're the main interests. It's gonna happen. They do kiss, and it's done kind of in, like, in my opinion, more like a tender way. It does become a little bit more passionate the more they realize they are attracted to each other and are starting to not hold back quite so much. So it does become a little bit more passionate. There are 2 sex scenes in this, and they are open doors. So you do see them disrobe, you see them touch, you see everything. But it is done in a way that I would say is more respectful. It is not, it's in there to try and help show how much they are not only attracted to each other, but how much they really care for each other, in spite trying to fight certain instincts and feelings. The desires and the love is there, and it's there to try and help further their progression. It's not there. I feel like the sex scenes in this were not like a placeholder. If the sex scenes were more closed door, I don't think it would have made a difference, because it still could have been alluded to, but they were there. It is spicy, but it is not the spiciest thing I've ever read. It is done in a more tender, like, spice. Okay, it's not there for erotic, get the sex in there and try to make you as the reader feel hot and bothered type of a thing. So, but it is open door. There's 2 scenes. They are short. At the most, I would say maybe 2 pages, or like 1 page front and back. Okay, so there's not a lot. And that's really the stats that I have for you. My thoughts, I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I really like Donna Ashcroft's writing. I have found that with romance, small town is my favorite. I have read other romance. I'm still fairly new to enjoying romance, especially when there is some spice in it. But there's just something about the small town and the close-knit community that I absolutely enjoy. So I really do like the small town. Sorry, my glucose alarm went off. I do feel like you get to know the characters a little bit more, because there's less distractions in a small town compared to a big town. There's less noise in the big hustle and bustle, or there's more noise in the big hustle and bustle of a big city compared to a small town. I like the coziness of the small town. So those are my thoughts on this. And yeah, so what are some things that I highlighted? Now, I underline phrases that I enjoy. So let me tell you a few. I won't go through all of them because there's quite a few. So it says, strange how sometimes your deepest desires only come to you in the night. Another one, let's see. A broken heart takes time to mend. Ain't that the truth? Sometimes death dumps a whole heap of baggage on you, which falls into a black hole initially, then turns up years later. It's best not to ignore it. Just unpack the whole case and see if any of it still fits. Oh, that's another thing I need to tell you. Grief, trigger warnings, okay? You have a family secret that's kept from Madison, and you have the turmoil that there are some characters that have that really want to tell her, but these people that are holding the secret were told not to say anything. And so there's this inner turmoil with a character as far as, I really want to tell her, but I've got to keep my word type of a thing. And that helps lead to like the third act conflict. And one thing that is brought up in this book a lot is death of parents. So you do get a lot of talk of grief. It's very prevalent in this, okay? You have death of parents. Let's see. And it does, again, come up a lot. It doesn't get graphic or anything like that. It's just brought up and dredged up a lot. It's surprising how many of the little things we don't pay attention to in our lives. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being driven. We need people like you to get things done. It's just work shouldn't be everything. Sometimes we walk away from the things we need most because we're too afraid of what having them might mean. And let's see, 2 more I'll tell you. Running from something that's hard to fix or painful is easy. The problem is one day life catches up with you or you get bored of running. No one's life is mapped out, Georgie. And Georgie is another main character in this. That's the sister of the male main interest. So that's Georgie. No one's life is mapped out, Georgie. We all get to make choices. It's 4 stars. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I look forward to the next Donna Ashcroft I'm going to pick up. This is my fourth time reading a book by Donna Ashcroft. I have 2 books on my bookshelf that is on the other side of the camera of books by Donna Ashcroft that I have enjoyed. Both have had sex in it, open door. So I think that's a common thing with Donna Ashcroft now, but I think it's done in a tender way. There is one book that I read by Donna Ashcroft that was more of an arc, and that's what led me to Donna Ashcroft. But that arc, if I remember right, did not have like a graphic, like it had a makeout scene in it, but it didn't have the explicit sex in it. So it'll be interesting to see in the final draft, which I do have a final copy of now, if that has changed or if it's still going to be more closed the door in that one. So anyway, Donna Ashcroft, I do like. If you like sweet and tender romance that does have a little bit of spice in there, then you may like. I do recommend Donna Ashcroft if that is the case. So those are my thoughts. Those are the stats that I was able to find out on this. With a lot of romance, you do have the longing and the lust, and you do get a little bit of that of like going, ooh, I wonder if we would be good horizontally type of a thing. But you don't have, in romance, I personally don't like it when it's saying like more vulgar words, like another word for a cat, so that's referred to as women. Don't be such a thing. I don't like those. Or like a male rooster, there's another word for that, but it's referred to as a male body part. I don't like those. This is more my style. Okay. Anyway, so those are my thoughts, feelings. Those are the stats. Let me know if you have read this. Again, this is The Little Guesthouse of New Beginnings by Donna Ashcroft. So hope you guys are doing well. Let me know if you've read this or have read any other books by Donna Ashcroft. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.